Ever pondered what drives people to accomplish extraordinary feats? Welcome to an exploration of the unseen yet powerful force that propels us forward, motivation. This invisible fuel is the spark that ignites our passion, the wind that fills the sails of our ambitions. It's what gets us out of bed each morning, eager to face the challenges of a new day. Motivation is a fascinating subject, as diverse as humanity itself. Think of it as the unique blend of desires, values, and beliefs that makes each of us who we are. For some, it might be the thirst for knowledge. For others, the pursuit of excellence or the drive to make a difference. As varied as it may be, one thing remains certain. Motivation is the cornerstone of progress, the secret ingredient to achieving goals. Every individual has a unique source of motivation. Let's explore this fascinating concept. Motivation isn't merely an abstract concept. It has a firm grounding in neuroscience. Let's dive into the fascinating world of our brains. You see, our brain is a complex network of neurons, and these neurons communicate with each other through chemicals called neurotransmitters. When we talk about motivation, one neurotransmitter steals the spotlight: dopamine. Dopamine is often referred to as the feel-good neurotransmitter, and for good reason. Imagine you're working on a task, say, studying for an exam or completing a project. As you inch closer to the finish line, your brain releases dopamine. This release creates a pleasurable sensation that makes you feel good about your progress. This positive reinforcement motivates you to keep going, to finish what you started, and ultimately achieve your goal. But that's not all. Dopamine isn't just about feeling good when we accomplish tasks. It's also about anticipation. Our brains release dopamine not just when we reach our goals, but also when we anticipate reaching them. This anticipation of reward encourages us to act, to initiate the behavior that will lead us to our goal. It's like a carrot at the end of a stick, enticing us to move forward. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The more challenging the task, the more dopamine our brain releases upon its completion. This is why we often feel a sense of immense satisfaction when we complete a difficult project or solve a complex problem. Our brain is essentially saying, "Well done, that was tough, but you did it. Here's a hefty dose of dopamine as your reward." This is the science of motivation in a nutshell. It's a complex dance of neurotransmitters, anticipation, and reward. This understanding of how our brain works can help us harness our motivation more effectively by setting achievable goals and celebrating our progress along the way. So we can say that our brain rewards us for being motivated and achieving our goals. Did you know that there are different types of motivation? Yes, indeed. The world of motivation is not as black and white as we often think. At the heart of it, there are two core types of motivation: intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation is when you engage in an activity because you find it inherently satisfying. Imagine a lone guitarist strumming away into the night, lost in the melody of his own creation. He's not performing for applause or fame. He's playing because the act itself brings him joy. That's intrinsic motivation. On the other hand, extrinsic motivation is driven by external rewards or punishments. Think about the times when you studied hard to get a good grade, or when you worked overtime because you wanted that promotion. These are examples of extrinsic motivation, where the driving force is an outcome separate from the activity itself. Now you might be wondering, which type of motivation is better? Well, it's not really a question of better or worse. Both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation have their own unique roles and effects on our behavior. Intrinsic motivation, with its roots in personal satisfaction and interest, often leads to deep learning and long-term habit formation. It's the fuel that keeps the flame of curiosity and passion burning bright. Extrinsic motivation, while it might seem less noble, can be just as powerful. It can kickstart action and promote high levels of productivity, especially when the task at hand may not be inherently enjoyable. But here's the catch. Too much reliance on extrinsic motivation can undermine intrinsic motivation. It's like a seesaw. If one side goes up, the other tends to go down. So it's all about finding the right balance between the two. In the end, it's essential to understand what type of motivation influences you in different situations. Are you more driven by the joy of the task or the reward that awaits? Understanding the type of motivation that influences you can help you harness its power effectively. And that, my friends, is the key to mastering your own motivation. Successful individuals often have one thing in common: a high level of motivation. What is this motivation we speak of? Is it a magical force that propels us forward? Or is it an internal flame that never dies? Well, in a way, it's both. Motivation is the driving force behind our actions. It's that inner spark that ignites our passion, fuels our ambition, and steers us towards our goals. Let's delve deeper into the role of motivation in success. Think about the most successful people you know. They could be athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or scientists. Now try to imagine their journey towards success. Was it smooth sailing all the way? Did they reach their pinnacle without breaking a sweat? The answer, most likely, is a resounding no. These individuals faced obstacles, they grappled with failures, and they had moments of self-doubt. But what made them different was their motivation. They had a reason, a purpose, a goal that was so important to them that it kept them going despite the odds. Take the example of Thomas Edison, the renowned inventor. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Now that's motivation. His desire to invent, to innovate, to make a difference was so strong that he refused to let failure deter him. And that's how he ended up inventing the light bulb, among many other things. On the other hand, consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the beloved Harry Potter series. Before she became a household name, she was a single mother living on welfare, struggling to make ends meet. But she had a dream, a story to tell. And this dream, this motivation, drove her to write in cafes while her infant daughter slept beside her. Her motivation led her to create a world that millions around the globe have fallen in love with. Success, you see, isn't just about talent or skills. It's about having the motivation to use those talents and skills to their fullest potential. It's about having the drive to push through the tough times, the resilience to bounce back from failures, and the persistence to keep going until you reach your goal. Motivation, in its essence, is the fuel for success. It's what keeps the engine running when the road gets rough. It's what lights up the path when the destination seems distant. It's the force that propels us forward when everything else tells us to stop. So if you find yourself questioning your abilities, remember that success isn't just about being the best. It's about being motivated enough to keep trying, to keep learning, and to keep growing. It's about finding that inner spark and letting it guide you towards your goals. As we can see, motivation is a key ingredient in the recipe for success. Feeling low on motivation? Don't worry, we have some tips for you. Motivation is a vital ingredient in the recipe for success. It's the fuel that drives us to go beyond our comfort zone, to push boundaries and to achieve our dreams. But like any fuel, it can run low at times. So how do we keep our motivation tanks full? Here are some practical ways to boost your motivation. First and foremost, setting clear, achievable goals is paramount. Goals are like the destination in your life's GPS. They provide direction and purpose. If you know where you're heading, it's much easier to stay motivated. So take some time to reflect on what you want to achieve. Make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, or what we often call SMART goals. Next, let's talk about self-care. Often underrated, self-care is a powerful tool for maintaining high motivation levels. When we take care of our physical, emotional, and mental well-being, we are better prepared to face challenges and stay motivated. This could mean maintaining a healthy diet, getting regular exercise, taking time to relax and unwind, or engaging in activities that you enjoy. Remember, a healthy body and mind are the foundations of a motivated spirit. Now let's delve into the world of positive thinking. It's no secret that our mindset plays a significant role in our motivation levels. A positive mindset can be a powerful motivator. When we view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles, we are more likely to stay motivated and persevere. So, practice positive thinking. Surround yourself with positive people. Read inspiring books or listen to uplifting music. Your mindset is a powerful tool, and you have the power to shape it. Another key strategy to boost motivation is seeking inspiration. This could be from a mentor, a book, a movie, or even a motivational quote. Inspiration can ignite a spark within us, fueling our motivation. Lastly, don't forget to celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Each step you take towards your goal is a win. Recognizing and celebrating these wins can provide a significant motivation boost. It's a reminder of your progress and a testament to your capabilities. In conclusion, motivation is not a constant. It fluctuates, and that's perfectly normal. But with these strategies of setting clear goals, practicing self-care, maintaining a positive mindset, seeking inspiration, and celebrating victories, you can keep your motivation levels high. Remember, motivation is not something that happens to you. It's something you create. With these strategies, you can keep your motivation levels high and stay on track towards achieving your goals. Just as motivation can propel us towards success, lack of it can lead to stagnation. We all have those days when we just don't feel like doing anything. It's a normal part of being human. But what happens when this feeling becomes the norm rather than the exception? When motivation wanes, procrastination often steps in. We delay tasks that we find uninteresting or challenging, convincing ourselves we'll do them later. However, later often turns into never. It's a vicious cycle that can lead to missed deadlines, poor performance, and ultimately, unfulfilled potential. Lack of motivation can also result in low productivity. Without the drive to achieve, we can find ourselves stuck in a state of inertia. We may do the bare minimum required, or worse, we might not do anything at all. This lack of productivity isn't just detrimental to our professional lives, it can impact all areas of our lives, from our personal relationships to our physical health. Furthermore, lack of motivation can lead to dissatisfaction. When we're not motivated, we're not fully engaged in what we're doing. We don't take pleasure in our work or our hobbies. Everything feels like a chore. This can result in a constant state of dissatisfaction where we're always looking for something more, something different, something better. But it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is that lack of motivation is not a permanent state. It's a condition that can be addressed and overcome. Whether it's through self-reflection, seeking help from others, or implementing strategies to boost our motivation, we can regain our drive and enthusiasm. The key is to recognize the signs of dwindling motivation and address them promptly. By doing so, we can prevent lack of motivation from becoming a roadblock in our path to success. It's crucial to address lack of motivation promptly to prevent it from hampering our progress. After all, motivation is the fuel that drives us forward, and without it, we're likely to remain stuck in neutral. Let's summarize what we've learned about motivation. It's indeed a powerful force that sets the wheels of our actions in motion. We learned about the science behind motivation, how our brain rewards us with a rush of dopamine, a feel-good neurotransmitter, every time we achieve a goal. This biological incentive system keeps us moving forward, striving for success. We also delved into the different types of motivation: extrinsic motivation, driven by external rewards or fear of punishment, and intrinsic motivation, which springs from an internal desire to learn, grow, and fulfill our potential. Both types have their place and can be harnessed effectively in different circumstances. The role of motivation in success was another key point. Motivation is the spark that ignites the fire of determination and perseverance, two vital ingredients for success. It's the driving force that keeps us committed to our goals, even when faced with challenges or setbacks. We then examined ways to boost motivation, from setting clear, achievable goals to maintaining a positive mindset, seeking out inspirational influences, and giving ourselves regular breaks to recharge and refocus. Remember, motivation isn't a constant state, but a fluctuating resource that needs to be managed and replenished. Finally, we looked at the impact of a lack of motivation. Without it, we risk becoming stagnant, unproductive, and unsatisfied. It's a reminder of the essential role motivation plays in our lives, pushing us to strive, evolve, and ultimately succeed. So, as we conclude, let's remember that motivation is more than just a concept or a fleeting feeling. It's a fundamental part of our human experience, a tool we can consciously harness to propel us towards our goals and dreams. It's the fuel that powers our journey towards success, the wind in our sails that carries us towards new horizons. Remember, motivation is a powerful tool that can help you reach your potential. Harness it effectively, and there's no limit to what you can achieve. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more insightful content.